Hi, I'm Chuck Bridgham, Development Lead for the Open Liberty Project. Liberty's lead architect recently explained why the Open Liberty platform should be considered if you're a Java developer building cloud-ready microservices. In my role as a Java developer, I need an environment that is fast, responsive, easy to configure and debug, and supports new and legacy technologies. Last year, our team contributed the largest amount of source to an open source project for IBM ever. And since then, the project has delivered many releases with thousands of new pull requests. This is an active project and is improving every day. I will now demonstrate how easy it is to get started developing using Open Liberty by utilizing a simple getting started guide and highlighting the key Open Liberty concepts for developing, packaging, and preparing to run your applications inside a Docker container. Let's get into the demo.
This is our website, openliberty.io. It hosts our latest news, downloads, documentation, and guides, also including how to get involved in the project hosted on GitHub. You just press this button here and it brings us to our GitHub repository. The downloads page includes downloads of our latest releases and packages that bundle the features to help you get started. The docs page gives users a variety of reference materials, for instance, Open Liberty features and configuration, but it also helps to navigate to the Open Liberty guides, which gives you a variety of topics to explore. Now, my demonstration isn't going to cover these technologies in depth, but will give you the tools to browse each guide on your own time. So I'm going to go ahead and use this first guide right here and do a brief overview of the design of each of these guides. So in the beginning, you'll see a what you'll learn, which is a brief synopsis of the topics that are going to be covered in this guide. And then there's always a getting started section, which has a git clone command to bring the source down to your computer. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll bring up a shell and run those commands. And then I'm going to bring up an Eclipse workspace. You can use any IDE to import the project. Get the repo, import the projects. So with every guide, there is a start and a finish folder. Obviously, if you're going to be starting with the start. But for our case, we're just going to go through start with the finish. And I'll go through all the concepts of what's built here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a terminal window on the project itself and build the project. So we're going to make sure that you have Maven on the class path. We're going to do a Maven install liberty start. So what this command is going to do is download all the dependencies defined in the Maven POM file, including the Open Liberty runtime itself. The source file will be compiled, server will be created and configured given the features defined in the server XML. And finally, the Liberty plugin provides a simple server start command. And there we go. While it's running through the tests, bring up the POM file real quick. So this says running server. We'll just bring it up on the default port 9080, and there we go. There's the running server. So let's get into some of the basic concepts of the project that we are building here. So this project has source folders, but also separate folders that hold configuration. For instance, our Open Liberty configuration file, the server.xml. This is where the separate features are defined that we're using on this server. This is where we define the application name and other things like logging. We can set trace specifications. So because all of these separate files are built into the archive itself, it's very easy to make changes in an IDE like this. So let's go ahead and change it, and we can immediately see the running server react without restarting. Let's just add a few more exclamation points here. Save it, come back, and restart. And there it goes immediately. So previously I told you about the Maven build downloading the entire Open Liberty runtime itself. So let's go ahead and see what was built in the target directory. If you go to target liberty WLP, and then in it has a users directory where the servers are defined. So we can see our getting started server with the server.xml that we defined earlier. There are various configuration files as well, the server env, bootstrap.properties, and optionally the jvm.options file, which provides additional places where you can configure properties and environment variables that is part of the entire Open Liberty configuration. There's also a logs file here that you can open up messages.log, for instance, that gives you information about the environment that you're running in, the version you're running on, and the status of the application and server that's starting up.
Okay, let's jump to running this application in a Docker image. So the first thing we're going to do is run from the guide the Maven clean package command that also runs the Docker file. So go ahead and run that. And what this is going to do is it's going to create an Open Liberty package that contains the user directory, that contains our server configuration. In the root of our project, we also have a Docker file. It's going to use that Docker file to take that user configuration package and overlay it with the Open Liberty Docker image. So as we are waiting for this to finish, we're going to go ahead and get the Docker run command ready here. So we have Docker images to prove that it was created. Open Liberty getting started up here 10 seconds ago. That sounds good. And let's go ahead and do the Docker run command. So now that that has gotten started, we will refresh, and there's the application running in a Docker image. Thanks for watching, and check out all the details at openliberty.io.